With a more traditional, some would say defensive 4-2-3-1. That was what they played with in the opening game. We think they're going to change track though here today, because they have included two out-and-out forwards in their starting 11 here today. So it'll be interesting, because despite the fact they did get that victory, they didn't create an awful lot of chances. Good atmosphere inside this stadium here, which, as you've seen, is covered, as the weather in New Zealand has been variable, to say the least, in the last few days, with wild wind-swept pitches, very little sunshine and warmth out there. But here it is a little different. Well, we'll get this check any second now on the Malian team. 3 changes there are for them. Koulibaly has come into the back four. He'll play alongside of Kaka Diarra. And up front is where we've got 2 changes as well. Guindo and Mohamed Diallo, the 2 out-and-out forwards, although we think Guindo will probably play up front on his own, with Diallo sitting just behind. Matt Jackson is alongside me. A victory today for Mali, and they're through.
Yeah, which is always a great position to be in tournament football. You can maybe rest a few players, look after the players that have picked up yellow cards early in the tournament. But actually, ultimately, you're just trying to build some momentum for your side, get the team shape, playing, get everybody some game time, and try and lead yourselves on to success. But Serbia are a good technical side, do create chances. I'm expecting this to be a really good game.
Well, Serbia appearing as an independent nation. And of course, if you go back a few years, well, go back a couple of decades, of course, these days, to the former Yugoslavia, when they won it in 1987. Just think of the players that they have playing for that side then. Some of the legendary names of the last 25, 30 years. Stimac and Prosinecki and Mijatovic, Suka, Boban, Jani, all of those players were part of that squad that won for Yugoslavia back in 1987. A truly magnificent team. Interesting test though here today for them, and we'll see just exactly how they're going to come up against what is a physical team. But we've seen the Europeans deal with it. We saw Austria deal with Ghana the other day exceptionally well. Followed by Zejela. As Antonov's touch. And Kone. Gabakle was wide of him. Here he is, Gabakle. We can't stress the importance of remaining organised tactically. That's what the coach was talking about on the eve of the kick-off here. Zamaseku.
Well, certainly a good start from Mali in terms of keeping the ball. Ivanovic, the coach, knows his team need to be disciplined today. They will face that physical test, but that's not to do Mali down. They have good technical players as well. Good shape to them already, passed the ball really well.
Ivanovic, you just saw that, one of the youngest coaches of these championships, just 37 years of age. Player, of course, with international experience all of his own, so knows his way around a bit of tournament football. And here's Gajic, the change here today. Zejela shuttling it over to Babic. Sabonic is the furthest forward. He is in the middle of Zivkovic. Sabonic, Zivkovic will pick it up here now. Can he bend one in here? It was a big chance, that, for Zivkovic.
Yeah, good chance. A little bit of a misjudgment at the far post. All just bouncing away from Kone. He does well, he digs it out really early. Touch is good. And just can't wrap his foot well enough around the curl ball to get it past the goalkeeper.
Soon he's just about to move to Valencia. They call him the Serbian Messi, so look out for him. And Hoyt clear by Diallo. Good start this from Serbia in these opening exchanges here. Gacinovic is going to be left. This is Antonov then to launch one in here. Got to watch the bat. Zivkovic is in there. If he just timed that jump better, he could have just touched that over Diarra.
A couple of misjudgments already in that Mali penalty area. Slight cause for concern for them. Haven't had one really good passing movement in the opening couple of minutes. Been all Serbia since.
Zivkovic, they are sticking with this 3-4-3 formation. And it's always interesting to see how different countries approach things as opposed to everybody playing with the same type of system. Saw it in the under-17s just a couple of weeks ago. Panieri Diarra then, the coach, former Malian international, who moved straight into the dugout when he hung up his boots back in 1991. There's Babic clear. Watch this, has been a feature in some of the games, the number of free kicks and cards that have been shown. A reminder that if Serbia win here, it will mean everybody on the same number of points going into the final game. There's Maksimovic.
Well, there looks to be good technical ability on show here in these early stages. Both sides happy to pass the ball on the floor. Hasn't been particularly broken up by fouls, as you've mentioned. Saw a very physical game yesterday between Panama and Austria, and the game just so broken. Players just don't get into any sort of rhythm whatsoever. A couple of long crossfield balls already tried by Serbia. It's easier to play through the thirds, dictate that possession from midfield areas.
Switching sides, Gacinovic, he was playing over on the right side of midfield in the opening game. It was Milinkovic, and again Milinkovic. Ponjic waiting in the penalty area. Zivkovic is in there as well. Gacinovic. This is Doumbia to clear it up. Got to watch it. This is going to be sure you'll find one of these squads, these Serbians, where you'll see a great many of these players playing around for some of Europe's elite clubs in the next few years. This is Gabakle. Good overlapping run from Kone if he's needed here. Kone holding it up, but taken away from him by Maksimovic. And away comes Serbia again. Gajic, and Gajic couldn't keep it in play.
First hint of a bit of pace about the Serbian side in that counter-attack. Poor execution of the 1-2. But certainly, well, you mentioned that formation of the 3-4-3. It allows bodies to pour forward in those counter-attacking situations. I think Mali will have to be very aware of.
There's Samasiku. Gajic with the interception. Mind for you, he's just gone in. Mexico beaten Uruguay in the other game in this group. Uiterez scoring the winner in the 92nd minute there. Looking for Ponjic. And Diarra goes down. Free kick to Mali. Haven't really yet got into this game.
There's always going to be one or two nerves in the early stages, and certainly as you come to terms with the opposition formation.
Gajic. 11 there is Zivkovic. There's Gabakle again. Very little on in front of him. This is really good work off the ball by Serbia, making it impossible for Mali to make any ground at the moment here. This is Diallo. About to be a patient waiting game here for the Malians.
Well, they've passed it well, but they've had to pass it backwards, and that is exactly what Serbia are trying to do. The one thing they've done really well, as the first man goes for Serbia, everybody else piles in behind really quickly, closes the space down. No point pressing high up the pitch if you're the only one going.
Yep, to try and pick out Diarra. Now Guindo is in. Just loses his footing at the vital moment.
First bit of penetration. Good play down their right-hand side. Dumbero looks really sharp and quick. Probably the least physical of the side, but he's very, very sharp. Forward runner's very good. Guindo just not being able to wrap his foot around the ball to make the cross, but once you build play like that, it allows your midfielders to join in.
Oh, very nearly got it through to Zivkovic. He's onside. No, he isn't. I noticed there was a late change to this Malian side from the official lineups. Adama Traore, the forward, has come into the game, or started the game, so there must have been a problem earlier on with Mohamed Diallo, who is the player who has now suddenly appeared on the substitutes bench. So Kone's free kick into Diallo. Again forcing the error, and Milinkovic bringing it away. Antonov through the middle. Going to drop here for Gacinovic, and unfortunately he can't keep it under control.
Scrappy's period of play so far. Both sides just making
Good
clearances.
turn into Milinkovic here. Very good challenge from Koulibaly.
Did brilliantly.
Great athleticism to get there and make this block.
Well, the clever thing he does, he shows the angle. So Milinkovic has to go down that way, and it allows a goalkeeper to be set when he does that.
Gajic. Watch those positions. Gacinovic on the edge of the area. Some decent strikers of the ball, very quickly back in by Gajic here. He picks out Zivkovic. Good, strong challenge. And away come Mali off Kone's ball. Guindo. Look at Doumbia going up on the overlap here. Oh, it's taken a deflection. Suleiman Diawara. He struck it, and I don't think he realised he was going to get quite as close as that took a deflection.
Yeah, you'd imagine ball always floating away, but just made the goalkeeper have a little panic. Rashkovic, just as the ball deflects, you don't need to see those sail into your top corner, nothing to do about it, but once again, good pace from Mali on that counter-attack.
Yeah, I don't think Diawara's impressed that much with Doumbia's response. Doumbia made a great run up there then. This is Traore, the late inclusion in the starting 11. Well, we've seen a bit of invention from some of the set plays, the Austrians in particular, the other day. They might not all come off, but at least it shows a bit of creativity.
Did they do the kneeling in front of the free kick one? I did that yesterday. Two just kneeling down.
Yeah, two kneeling down right in front of the wall.
Did you get that?
And that's very nearly how they scored.
So it obviously worked.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite understand the logic, I have to say, when I saw that for the first time.
Guindo is again through the middle. Once again, Doumbia is up in support. Into Diawara. This is good build-up play here now from Mali. Doumbia is going to get there. Guindo is. Guindo, good shot on the turn. He just couldn't wrap that right foot around the ball.
Not sure he didn't have a chance for a snapshot. You know you're never going to get that much time as a centre forward. Just as the ball breaks to him here, can he swing his foot there? Possibly that would have been. You know you're always going to get closed down after that. Have to have that great awareness.
Could have been an expensive touch there by Antonov, playing it right into his path as Babic brings it out. And just look at the position of the two fullbacks. If Mali could actually apply a bit of pressure on the player in possession, which they don't do, Maksimovic goes deep looking for Gasinovic. Saponjic went inside the penalty area. Right on the edge of it is Milinkovic. But they're so light at the back with just the two central defenders there playing it across each other, with the fullbacks set out wide onto the touchline. If Mali applied pressure and could force an error, then the potential exists.
Yeah, it's amazing how the formations have to be worked against each other.
You only want it to go wrong once.
Yeah, and the secret, obviously from a Serbian perspective, is you have a lot of players forward, and Mali spends so much time trying to fill the holes to mark people, as we see that. Yeah.
Can he keep it in? Just good play from Gajic. Now, can he get the cross there? That's good play again. Determined he was not to waste that. Kone, in the end, good recovery there. Very quickly taken into Zivkovic. Just put a bit too much on that ball. Maksimovic flying in on the back post.
Yeah, he's shooting. He's actually trying to hit the target with a shot rather than the cross.
There's a really good feel about this Serbian team. Saponjic, the forward, who's the youngest player in the squad. He's only born back in '97, but he's already a member of the senior squad at Partizan Belgrade. Here they come again. Gasinovic. That's better though from Doumbia, sticking tighter to him, nicking the ball away. Traore. Got to be careful he doesn't give the free kick away, Traore, which he doesn't. Kone forced into the early jump. Gajic.
Territorially, Mali just being pegged back a little bit. Don't get any real quality to their clearances at the moment. Service up to Guindo. Traore not being great.
There's Babic. They're being given a real workout, this back four for Mali. Nil-nil here, nil-nil in the other game over in Hamilton. Senegal 0, Colombia 0. Zivkovic looking to see where Gajic was. That's Saponjic. Kone. Zivkovic has got it away again. Real terrier, isn't he, Zivkovic? But he goes down under the challenge of Kone. But Kone's challenge looked fair.
Yeah, it was good. No problems with that at all. He's got good pace. Both fullbacks, very good pace. Goes to ground. Zivkovic has to be a bit braver. That's not going to particularly hurt him. No twist as he falls. He'll pick himself up from that, no problem at all. You're going to be a tricky little winger. If you're going to be the Serbian Messi, you're going to expect a few of those throughout your career, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's just the type of title you don't want thrown on you, really, isn't it? If there's one name you don't want to be linked with, it's Messi, isn't it? But he does look as if he's in a bit of trouble here. Maybe turned his knee as he went down. And the substitution already being warmed up. Zivkovic, another of the Partizan Belgrade contingent here.
Just didn't look to be. Normally when you ride a challenge like that, you've seen it coming. She landed, there was no...
See, the Spanish are very quick to pick up talent from Serbia, and as we said, he's going to be off to Valencia very soon. Really really good club. He knows he's going to get his chance there, as opposed to going and sitting in the shadows at Real Madrid or Barcelona for years to come, or Chelsea.
No, absolutely. They always have great technical ability. They have a toughness to them as well, the Serbians, which
well,
the teams like.
We mentioned some of the names from that. They were the Yugoslavian team, but what a time that was as that goes in. Good, brave attempt then to win that in the air, which he did. But Milinkovic, the whistle had already gone. Wouldn't have counted. That was Maksimovic who gave the free kick away. This is Gubakli into Kone.
Well, one thing for a fullback, when you make a challenge like that, perfectly fair challenge, no cynicism about it, just a tough challenge on your winger. You know that it's in his mind then. Next time, you might be getting the same again. And if you're going to come up against someone with the quality of Zivkovic, the pace of him, you want him to have something in his mind other than how he's going to beat you in a one-on-one situation when he gets the ball.
And there's just not enough support up there for either Guindo or Traore in possession. It's Diarra. Zivkovic back there, and Zivkovic is not happy. And he's carrying on the war of words with Kone. He felt that the treatment was a little rough.
Well, I don't think you're too good to be tackled. That's the other problem. If you're going to get linked as a Messi type, you've got to have the temperament to match it as well. Start believing your own press. Sometimes the worst thing for a young player.
Well, we did wonder whether or not the Austrians would be able to maintain the level of high-pressure game in their matches that we've seen over the last few days, and the answer was yes. I mean, exceptional levels of athleticism and fitness and stamina these players have now got. And here is Diarra. Kacinovic over there to cover Doumbia. Forward by Diawara. Guindo looking to try and pick it up off of Traore. Gubakli is available as well. But too slow making up the mind, and again Serbia just forcing them back to the halfway line here. Diawara goes down the flank. Here's Guindo, but there's nobody in the penalty area. And Traore sets it up for Diallo. Might hit one here, Diallo. Diallo looking for the angle. Diallo's still there, and then he just flung himself down, looking for a cheap free kick, which he was never going to get. Zivkovic. Gajic now making his way up to the halfway line if they can feed him. Gajic is still there. Here he is. Savonjic waiting in the penalty area. Milinkovic on the back post as well. Good return ball. Gajic. And Diallo back into Gubakli. He's challenged there, fairly so as well, by Zidjela.
Now, the one issue Gubakli has is very tight on the ball. He's got good close control. He doesn't get his head up well enough, so he's going to come in to situations like that where he's getting tackled without knowing that players are arriving. Been really impressed with the technical ability so far. Both teams looking to pass the ball well. Good individual confrontations going on all over the pitch.
This is Babic. And Doumbia brings it away. Again, the route out is closed off, so they have to switch to the left. And here's Gubakli again. But the options are so few. Diallo. Kone.
Yeah, the Serbians do great in making the first pass go backwards for Mali, so that by the time that they've got good possession of the football, Serbia also have 11 men behind the ball. Very disciplined from them so far. I'd be delighted with the defensive formation.
Well, their style, when he was asked the question, we are a real unit and that is our main strength, and so far You couldn't argue with that. Getting individuals to play as a team at this age cannot be easy.
No, and they don't get them for all that much time. Probably with this summer tournament have had a little bit longer. I think they would have needed time to acclimatise in coming out to New Zealand. And lots of these players will have played good levels of senior football all year as well, so you have to manage that side of things.
Zagiela's ball forwards, again looking for Milinkovic. Diarra, along with Kone, Koulibaly and Doumbia, getting a really thorough workout here in the opening 23 minutes of this game. And the touch just goes wide. Gacinovic and Milinkovic involved, Maksimovic there too.
Gacinovic has the snapshot. Quite well worked to see his snapshot, and then it's just whether the reaction's going to be quick enough at the far post.
Sergej Milinkovic is one of the few outside of Serbia playing the game in Belgium. Zivkovic with the interception. And it's Milinkovic with the left. He wants it back again, and that time it was snuffed out. Kone brings it forward here. And Traore, who's dropping very deep there into Doumbia. Picks out Guindo. Easy for Antonov. And Gacinovic showing a bit too much of that to Samasiku. But he's come out on the winning side there again. Now, where does he go with it? Well, he's caught in two minds. And look at the position of Zivkovic, who feels that he needed the ball, but he drew the challenge.
It's going to be a great position.
Well, they feel a bit hard done by here.
And I agree with them. Didn't quite get his head up, really, and didn't exactly know where people were. Never gave the impression he was fully in control, but kept himself going. Probably just, it was the first challenge, the lunge, rather than probably that second little bit of physical contact, but certainly had options up and around him.
Well, Zivkovic was the one who was in a great position there, but that is the view of Diarra's goal. And Sergej Milinkovic is standing over the ball. Big test then here coming up for Diarra. Antonov is also there, but it is going to be Sergej Milinkovic.
Wouldn't have chosen to put the ball down on a better spot than where the free kick's going to be taken from. Enough space to get the ball up and down over the wall. Options left and right of the keeper.
Well, he is a noted striker of the ball, this guy. Well, watch the red shirts peel away. You can see Samasiku in the wall, just behind the three red-shirted Serbian players there as well. Now, what can he produce here? Right through, that is absolutely magnificent. Well, we said he had a noted strike of the ball, and he's just shown you why. Beautiful strike, and the best dead ball we have seen here in New Zealand this year.
Yeah, you mentioned about the red shirts. There you go. You duck in the middle of the goal. It's horrible for a goalkeeper because he knows a player of that ability has the quality to go left or right of him, high and low. This one skips off the surface, but fantastic strike, buried in the bottom corner. Absolutely no chance for Diarra. Very well worked from the Serbians.
Member of the under-21 national team as well. And just before the half hour, Serbia strike. Just before the half hour, good news for Senegal fans, because Thiam has just given Senegal the lead in that match against Colombia. 1-0 there. Earlier on, Mexico beating Uruguay and Portugal beating Qatar by 4-0. Well, we said it was going to have to be a game of patience for Mali, and that hasn't changed. Their time will come. They will get opportunities in this game. There's Gabakli. Into Samaseku. Diawara's layoff. This is Doumbia. And again, it's just shut tight there. Good work, though, by Doumbia to win it back again. And it's Antonov, the player, that takes it out.
Well, they have to go chasing the ball a bit further up the pitch. That's been the issue so far for Mali. They've had some decent possession, but certainly have struggled to create any sort of chances. A defensive wall of red up against them whenever they pick the ball up.
There is that wall of red, and there is Zivkovic. Now, Gajic. Usimovic has made ground. Gajic is in here, and he very nearly squeezes it in the near post. There's such a sense of adventure and belief amongst the defenders as well as the midfield players and the forwards here.
Well, we mentioned the wall of red, so you think, well, are they being defensive? Well, no, they're not, because you have your fullback attacking, overlapping, has the ability to take players on as well.
Tell you what, though, Diallo, give him a bit of credit for the way he got back and made that challenge too, because he covered some ground there.
Yeah, a bit alarming for Mali. They were left in that 3-on-2 situation. No need to, you have to go and win the ball back, but no need to chase the game with an hour to go. They'll get plenty of opportunity. Just don't want to see the game go away from them before half-time.
Here's Zivkovic then with the throw. It's a great throw down to Gasinovic. Good drop to Gajic. 11, Zivkovic, he's going to be second there. Kone's in. And it's a Malian ball.
And Zivkovic has got to be better, giving away the free kick down there. Kone's under pressure, but nowhere to go with the ball. Ends up with an easy out because of a pretty petulant free kick given away.
It's Guindo, who's covered by Zagella. Actually, we talked about the names that just dripped off the tongue of the quality players that came through when Yugoslavia won in '87. Mali, when they won in '99, well, sorry, they came third in '99, which was their best time ever out. They were involved in one of the highest scoring games ever when they beat Cameroon 5-4. But Seydou Keita, Mamadou Diarra were part of that team. But you know what? They came up against the Spanish, and it was one of the first times we covered this event. And the Spanish team included Xavi for the first time in the World Youth Cup alongside of Gabri. And you can add Casillas, Marquena, Aranzia as well. It was a very, very talented Spanish team. Gajinovic. Into Doumbia. And Traore. Along to Diallo. On 4 is Kone. Gabakli. Where does he go? The options are few. They're only behind him. As Diawara looking for Doumbia. Gajinovic back there doing the defending. This is Traore. Can he hold off and get the strike on goal? He can't. Diallo, he can't either. Traore. I'm trying to play through the most congested area, and Rajkovic. First time he mentioned his name, Rajkovic rather, of Red Star Belgrade, is the captain of the team. A bit of space here to play into. And the final ball was poor. Here's Antonov. Koulibaly. Diallo. And just stretched a little bit there, but that All of a sudden, everybody back in position for Serbia. 14 is 4 is Diallo. Kone. Diallo. Cross to Samaseku. This is Dumbia to Diawara. Oh, he's missed him out this time. Samaseku. And then concentration lapses and back it goes to Rajkovic. Babic. This is where Mali have got to put a bit of pressure on here now. Veljkovic. It's all a bit too easy for Serbia to play out from the back.
Yeah, that's where they've mixed it up brilliantly well, Serbia. They're looking at attacking force and a really good defensive force. That's the blend you're looking for. Easy thing to say, not quite so easy to put into practice. Mali have been okay defensively, but they've had no real attacking intent whatsoever. Too many times pinned back and coming up against.
Zivkovic again, he's around Kone now. Zivkovic, he let the shot go, and the angle wasn't the greatest. Good interception. Now look at the position of Zivkovic. Oh, it would have been a tap-in if they could have got it to him. And Saponic just couldn't get it across. Here's Gabakli. Kone is up on the overlap here now. Gabakli's just in field of him. 19 is Traore. There's just a lack of pace when they're moving the ball around. It's too slow. It's easy for Serbia to defend against this.
Yeah, they keep going down the middle, that's the problem. Then you're looking for individual skill to try and get you out of really tight situations. You have to spread the play at some point. Certainly have the ability in those fullback areas with Dumbia and Kone joining in. But so many times they've had to go backwards or sideways, haven't they?
This is Diawara, and again they've got a free kick though this time. And set plays at the end of the day may very well be the best route Mali have to a goal. But as we saw when we were watching the Austrians the other day in the 1-1 against Ghana, Austria dominated with this high-pressure game. Ghana found it very difficult, but their moment did come. It was late on. They did win a penalty kick, but they tempted a challenge from one of the defenders who'd been very quiet during the game. And they took advantage, so Mali will get a chance in this game.
And their players are too technically good not to get chances. This free kick probably, as we said, the perfect position for Serbia previously with Milinkovic. This is probably just 5 yards too far out. Rajkovic not expecting to get beaten from here.
Well, it was rising from the moment it left the boot.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to score from there. You move the ball, obviously they can come out the wall and make the block. That's really tough. You're trying to change the angle, but it's impossible really. But it's going to be a very tough ask there.
This is Babic. And Dumbia. Or by Dumbia again. It's a poor one this time. Saponic is through, is he here? Saponic is still going. Does well to keep it in. Koulibaly Wasn't the best bit of defending from Koulibaly. Milinkovic and Doumbia over there just to make sure there's no way out. That's better from Doumbia. The ball had gone behind, but Koulibaly was lucky there.
Yeah, he was, and you just get the feeling that Serbia being in control at 1-0. The onus, obviously, as we know, very much on Mali, have to go chasing the game, and that you do feel will suit Serbia with their creative players, their pace as the game opens up as well. This is what they've done. They just keep pressing and pressing. They wear you down.
Beginning to see a few more errors like that slip into the game. Senegal still leading Colombia by 1-0 in the other game down in Hamilton. There's Milinkovic. Looking to drop it over Koulibaly. Zivkovic just couldn't bring it under control. But again, the danger is imminent once more. Kone plays it out for Mali. Gives it away though, straight to Babic, who sends it back. Diallo leaves it. Kone, neither side able to hold possession here. That was Maksimovic going in a bit late, that challenge. Referee playing on.
Yeah, surprised when you go off your feet like that. It only ends up in a free kick. But it's this sort of situation, you're just forced the whole time under pressure, nothing worse. You can't get your head up, you can't pick a pass out. Serbia doing it really well. Their issue becomes, can they keep the pressing game up the full 90 minutes?
And the problem is, for him, is that the only way around it is if you're playing long balls. But if you've only got one person to aim at there.
Oh,
and as you can see, or the green dirt with Traore up there. There's Koulibaly into Diallo. And Kone struggling to keep that in. Well, look at this from Zivkovic. He is not giving Diallo a minute's peace.
And better discipline as well. Once you've got them going backwards, don't give them the easy out of making a foul. Alleviates the pressure.
Antonov is back there to just track the run of Sunema Diawara and Doumbia. Those two have provided a little bit more threat than Kone and Gabakli over on the left side of midfield. Here's Gajic. Saponic into Zivkovic. That's a bit sloppy from Zivkovic. Put a little high, but Zigela is ridden too. He might fancy hitting one himself here. Tees it up at the back post for Gashinovic.
He'll be frustrated, should do better. He has the technical ability to keep this one back in play. We'll run out on the far side once again as Mali trying up the pace.
Well, he'll be happy surely with the first 41 minutes. What he'd probably feel is that they haven't actually created an awful lot of chances in the game from the possession they've had.
Well, I mean,
or that he'd have wanted a bit more, maybe.
He'll settle to be ahead from that point of view, and it does change things, you know. They're under a little bit of pressure, having lost the first game, so having got ahead, he will quite happily take a 1-0 victory at the moment. They've shown good discipline. That's all you want as a coach. Is your team executing the game plan? Is it putting into effect what you've worked on in preparation? I think Serbia have been good. Yeah, obviously everybody wants to have free-flowing attacking teams, but you have to give the opposition some credit at times as well. And Mali have big physical defenders in the middle of that back four. But it's those sorts of areas, that long ball, where someone like Milinkovic is clever enough to find pockets of space, and that's what Mali haven't been able to do yet. Haven't had a player to be able to get himself on the ball, dictate the tempo of the game.
There's Gabakli into Traore. They've been given the majority of the possession here, literally on the halfway line. 60% of the possession they've had in the first half so far. In saying that, in chances created, neither side have done particularly brilliantly. Only 3 on target for Serbia, one of which was the goal. But Mali are yet to have a strike on Rajkovic's goal that's actually forced him to work. Here is Kone. Maybe he can change that now. Pitch has been a little bit bobbly. Zivkovic. And the late run from Gacinovic. It's the first time really they've been caught with a player in possession in the advancing third of the field without more than one obvious option. And 19 here is Traore.
He's desperate for one of the forwards to come off and create some space, though. If you're going to be a centre forward for Mali, just go and stand up alongside the centre backs from Serbia. It's going to be very difficult to find you with the ball.
Traore again. Kone's in a good position. Gabakli. And that's lifted over Rajkovic's goal. And Diallo having the best attempt on goal so far for Mali. And it was good technique because, again, that ball was bobbling as it was arriving at his feet.
Yeah, it was difficult to keep it down, but that comes because there's a little bit of clever play. Somebody comes into an area where a centre-halves love marking players. That's what they're made to do in football, but they don't like movement around them. They don't like players wandering off so that they then have to make a decision to go out of their back 4 line or their back 3 line. They want nice, solid defensive formations. Once you start moving them around, that's when you have problems for defenders.
Here's Veljkovic. Zivkovic again. 3 in coming into the penalty area. Zivkovic. Now, where's he going with this? And Zaponic. What a big opportunity.
Got to score. Really should score. Doesn't head the ball properly. Lovely delivery with the right foot. You've got to be better than that. Just head the ball.
Nicely picked out by Zivkovic. Well, he can't believe it. That would have just added a bit of gloss to what's been, at times, a superb 45 minutes here for Serbia. Here's Milinkovic. Antonov is going on the overlap. Gacinovic is there as well. Antonov keeps it in play. Just a minute of additional time. 19 is Traore.
Interesting for Mali, because you feel that if they don't change something, either personnel or formation, they're just going to keep coming up against this Serbian defensive formation that has given them nothing at all. Little half a chance. We see that left-footed shot, nothing more than that. Very good half for Serbia.
At times they were absolutely superb in that first half, Serbia. And the only thing missing is perhaps maybe another 1 or 2 goals which would put them in a comfort zone. As
formation well enough, well, the players get tired, concentration levels go. Certainly Mali have the technical ability to exploit that. But I just think they have to be better in those forward areas, Mali. The forwards might say we're not getting good enough service, but they have to be clever enough with their movement that they become really readily available options.
Well, Mexico defeated Uruguay by 2-1 with a very late goal in that game. And it's brought 3 of the 4 teams here level on 3 points each. And if it stays as is here, we will enter the final day with all 4 on 3 points. Serbia deservedly in the lead at the moment. But what has that half-time interval and the talk from the Malian coach done to the mindset of this Malian team? One thing you think they probably have to do is if they're going to put pressure on players, for the Serbians a bit further up the field, they've actually got to put a bit of legwork in, which they weren't doing.
Well,
there's Milinkovic going down, and that is a free kick right in an area where you don't want to give one away.
no, absolutely. A little bit wider than where he was previously, but it's a forward ball, but he's in good space. He's found gaps between the two banks of four, the midfield four, the defensive four, so he's not marked. So the ball comes in, he gets turned, and players then have to commit fouls on him. That's been the difference. They're just much better at exploiting space, the Serbians, than Mali have been so far.
Is Milinkovic going to come into view again here?
Well, you would expect him to fancy it.
Well, it is again on that right foot. Now they're going to put the 2 and 3 players in the wall. Diana has got to make sure that construction is industrial almost.
He gambled to his right last time. This one looks more naturally to be shaped over the wall and curled into the corner. Then it becomes a game of bluff.
So here he goes. Milinkovic it is. He's going to bend it in here. Milinkovic. Ooh, the keeper Diana took a massive gamble there. Here's Vekovic. Vekovic losing out. Babic into Kone. But again, you just saw the instincts of the Serbian players. Grindo giving chase. Rajkovic is out. They're always looking for the second and third phase, aren't they? Every opportunity. And just going back to what their coach said. Here it is again.
You see the goalkeeper just edge again. He's worried about his right-hand side, so he takes that step. Just the angle.
Match director needs a bit of a class in how to pick out a proper shot. There's Samasiku. Into Doumbia.
Better pass, but you see the pressure then.
3 on him.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Grindo, better position to receive the ball, but didn't have a picture of what his options were once he has received it.
Milinkovic with his palms outstretched there. I don't know what he expected Srbonic to do, really. Well, that's a lovely ball, that is, from Gacinovic. Srbonic has left it. Zivkovic coming in. There's Milinkovic again, looking to pick out Zivkovic. Just in front of him is Maksimovic. He's in here. There's the cutback, and there's the clearance by Diana. But again, this is a hugely impressive, very positive opening spell from Serbia.
Just so many players forward, that's why. 2, 3 in the box. Ring in the box as well, so that any clearances are picked up.
Zivkovic to bend it in. He was going for the near post there. Not the greatest clearance that either, as he looks to pick out Diawara. Back it comes to Samasiku. And Samasiku to Gabakli, close down again. 7, 8 players from Serbia inside the Malian half. There's Diawara. Doumbia and Diawara again trying to get that combination going. It'll be Diawara with the throw into Doumbia. He's not going to let it. Leaves it for Diallo in the end. And Samasiku. That's an intelligent ball, but he's just not got the execution right.
Have to play high margin of error passes. I think that's the issue for them, isn't it? Even there, you have to have that on a wet, greasy surface. You have to have that ball absolutely perfect to stay in play.
Well, we've got more early morning action for you tomorrow. It's Hungary against Brazil, Germany against Uzbekistan also on as well. But here is Gacinovic into Milinkovic. Looking to pick out Zivkovic. Interception by Diana. Back to Milinkovic. Milinkovic, now he could hit it here. Milinkovic, Zivkovic is in. And Srbonic, just some of the positions Srbonic is taking up are the wrong positions, aren't they? You wanted him to move toward the near post, then as Zivkovic came in front of his marker.
No, you're right. Move away to go tight across the front post, or go to the front post, drag your defender in and peel away to the back post. That's the textbook movement.
Oh, that was beautifully touched down then by Milinkovic. He really is a talent, but again, reading the situation with Gacinovic, and again, a great understanding between those two.
Yeah, just an awareness of what's around him, isn't it? That's the beauty of it.
There's Babic's interception. And to Saponic, down to Milinkovic, Gacinovic. There's the gap to drive through. Milinkovic. Then looks for Gajic, who's getting forward on the overlap here.
Well, Milinkovic starting to run the game from that sort of number 10 role, where he's just not getting marked by Mali, and he's too good a player for them to ignore. And they have to get someone to look for him. See him there in the middle of the picture, just got a pocket of space on the shoulder of Maksimovic. Samasuku can't then mark them either.
Well, there's been no change really for Mali. If anything, the stranglehold on the game has been strengthened here by Serbia. They just need really to add this second goal. All the time it's like it is. It only needs one counter-attack like this to maybe work right. Diawara, no way through again, as Antonov makes the challenge. As Traore with a turn. Back it comes to Samasiku. Into Diallo. Window waiting inside the penalty area. Oh, that was the first half decent looking cross that they've swung in from the left-hand side so far. Look at the space here for Milinkovic to run into. Picks his pass out, finds Antonov.
How big they make the pitch, really good perspective from this angle. Wide players, so huge spaces, that's the issue. The midfield four for Mali have to spread to cover all of the bases, all of the options, and that leaves big gaps between them for good technical back players for Serbia just to pick relatively easy passes out. There you go, that's good play.
Maksimovic into Zivkovic. Maksimovic wanted that ball early. There's Zivkovic, Maksimovic, Saponic, Gacinovic, and he just couldn't steer it in. What do they have to do to get this second goal? This is Antonov. Bends it into Maksimovic again, who just got over the top of the ball, but again, it's great play from
really
Serbia.
Good play. The whole build-up play was absolutely excellent. We know this delivery is going to be good. And actually, any number, superb ball. I think one of the first two players would head it, and they will be livid, Serbia, if they don't pick up maximum points after how well they've played so far. Once again, you see just the difference there. It's a fight ball that goes up to the two forwards, Guindo and Traore. They have to come up against the big physical centre-backs that Serbia have.
Ooh, that was very nearly given away to Diawara. Antonov instead into Velkovic. He finds Zadolia. Holds it up. Kone is in there for the challenge. Maksimovic takes it away. Gacinovic into Antonov again. Saponic is waiting for the delivery. Good interception. Koulibaly again, and Diarra getting tested. Is Maksimovic, Zivkovic. Zivkovic again. Did he take it out of play? Yes. He's a feisty character, isn't he, Zivkovic? He's always got something to say. You want someone with an edge, but he's got to be tempered.
I mean, you see how many times the creative players are like that. Sometimes I think they waste so much energy, but his feet are quick. He's got two good feet, so he can cross with his right or his left. That's horrible for a fullback, because you can't force him one way or the other. He will hurt you both ways. Yeah, as you say, just that little temperamental side. You always feel that he's one, if you're treading on his toes or giving him a quick squeeze or a jab at any time, might just react in the wrong way. We saw for 5 minutes or so after the challenge on him in the first half, he was thinking about anything other than the creative side of his game.
You see, that is where, when that half interception was made, Mali have got to actually make some ground into this game.
Well, there's no option now. When you're in possession here as a left back, there is no way to play the ball forward, and that's just so good from Serbia. They just, once again here, he's got to come up with something tight area, easily defended, and it's so frustrating to play against. Every time you get the ball, you just look up and see red rather than yellow.
That's Bakley making the challenge then. Gajic getting it forward. Bezinovic took it to play Saponic in. Bit late on Diallo. As you can see, the referee is going to show a yellow card here to Milinkovic, the goal scorer.
Yeah, he didn't actually know that there was a body there when he made the challenge. Held his hand up straight away. Nothing malicious about the challenge. Good to see the sportsman side of it. Diallo, I think, understands that. Milinkovic only looking at the ball. Wasn't even aware Diallo was closing him down. That's why he ends up catching him quite high on the thigh.
There's going to be a change here coming up for Mali. Hamidou is coming into the game for Gabakli. Never really got into the game, did he, to be perfectly honest?
No, he didn't. One or two little situations. The left foot shot in the first half, towards the end of the first half, comes from him coming in off the line. But I think people, you mentioned at the start of the game, Tim, that 4-4-2 formation, people see it as a defensive formation because it's rigid. There's no fluidity about the roles, about the movement of players within a 4-4-2, and that's been really apparent here today.
Diawara not quite quick enough to get possession of the ball. Milinkovic. But again, that pressure mounts as soon as Mali come into possession. Saponic is through the middle. Has he got the pace and strength? Yes, he has! Oh, but it's a dreadful finish from Saponic, and he has missed two really good chances in this game. Let's not forget, though, he is the youngest player in the squad here.
Yeah, pass from Milinkovic, though, off his supposedly weaker foot. Absolutely exceptional again. It's better play. Different option there. Fullback pushed right on, makes a big difference.
Kone is pushing on, gives it back here to Veljkovic. Veljkovic looking for Saponic. Free kick goes Serbia's way. Still 1-1 in the other match going on between Senegal and Colombia. Very nearly won it there, Mali. And if they do, it could be a problem. There's Hamidou. Into Doumbia. Diawara, they're looking for offside. The flag has gone up.
Good discipline. Catch the lazy forwards out.
Frustrating time for him.
And disappointed with Guindo. Fantastic physical characteristics he has, but he hasn't imposed himself on the back four of Serbia or on the game itself at all.
As Samiziku into Doumbia. Again, he's closed down by Saponic.
Saponic does, what's he gone? He's gone 5-10 yards there to make the challenge, but how much that helps the rest of his squad. He doesn't make that challenge to get turned around. They all have to run 30 yards, 50 yards back.
Maksimovic waiting for Gajic to get on the overlap, and Gajic wastes that. He was already in advance of Kone. He needed to get beyond him and play the ball in. And Zivkovic. Again, needlessly given away. Nothing about that ball looked as if it was ever going to bring success, and Zivkovic is screaming in agony here at the challenge from Kone. Well, Kone believes there's a bit of acting going on here.
Well, we saw him in the first challenge early on.
Those two have been engaged in what you could call a phony battle for quite a long time in this game, and maybe we're doing him a disservice here.
No, I don't think we are. I think he's making far more of it. I mean, he gets caught, but there's no intent, there's nothing, there's no stamp, it's not studs. And it's a side of his game he's got to get out of. That is not a man in great pain, believe me.
Well, the screams of agony that when he went down there, and you can understand Kone's frustration there. Fair enough, you're injured, but really
doesn't help anyone, and the game knows as well. You know, the players know themselves, instinctively have an idea if it's a bad challenge or not.
He doesn't need to do it either, does he?
No, not at all. I mean, he's a super talented boy, as shown by the fact that he's going to Valencia. But your other issue is, word gets round, once he's playing senior football, first team football, temperamentally, he's suspect, gets stuck into him, look, picks himself up, have a little token limp for the cameras, and come back onto the pitch. So he's gone off now with two, in his eyes, serious-looking injuries. They haven't troubled him at all. This is controversial. They carried on as well. Stop the game, Marley, for him.
Here's Guindo. You don't blame them either,
no,
actually, Marley, for carrying on for that. Why should you give the ball back if you feel that he's just pulling the referee's leg a bit here? This is Amidou. And look, he's running as if there's nothing wrong with it.
Look, there was just nothing in the challenge whatsoever. Absolutely whatsoever. Now he's lost his marker. Kone is in here. They're up against each other again here now. Kone, Zivkovic nicks it away. Kone gets back at him. Zivkovic, Maksimovic, into Milinkovic. Saponic, challenge from Diarra. This maybe just wound the Malians up a bit here. Maybe it needs something like that just to get under their skin and just to kick-start a performance from Mali, who have been pretty ordinary in this game. Yeah, I think, in fairness to the players, they've got quite good technical ability. But I think there's been a naivety from the coach, really. Hasn't particularly changed, made one change in personnel, but hasn't changed anything tactically. And it has been a tactical battle that Serbia have absolutely cruised so far.
Stanisa Mandic is coming on, and going off is Saponic. This guy was the first choice forwards in coming into this event at not Saponic's day. He had two great chances here. Mandic is in.
Well, they're obviously confident that Zivkovic has recovered fully from his horrific leg injury.
Mandic already just buzzing around, looking to put players under pressure. As Mali again go the long route, the route one downfield. Vekovic winning it in the air, Antonov helping it on. Jasinovic with the layoff, forward by Milinkovic. Mandic's first touch. The important time in this game is going to be coming in the next 10 minutes or so, when we find out just whether or not they've got the stamina to actually keep up this level of performance. This is Zivkovic. He's done beautifully there. Now, Mandic is in there, Gacinovic on the back post, and again, he's gone high with the head. He met it on top of his head, as opposed to on his forehead.
Yeah, good play again. Zivkovic at his best. Very much the best of and the worst of Zivkovic. He just concentrates on his game. Looks like he could be a really good player. Suits him well. 3 up front as well. Doesn't have so many defensive duties. The lack of width though for Mali. 7 players right down the middle of the pitch. Fullbacks have to play high.
Well, they had 15 attempts on Uruguay's goal in a game they didn't score a goal in. It's pretty much the same here. There goes Diawara, but they've taken Gabakle off, and there is nobody over there, basically. Mandic. Still yet to have an attempt on target. There's Mandic's ball into Zivkovic. Mandic and Gacinovic there. Good play by Kone. And every time he wins one of those, you can see it just gets right under the skin of Zivkovic.
No, big difference. The 2 fullbacks very quick, athletic for Mali. The 2 centre halves are a little bit one-paced, very physical, obviously bigger as you'd expect. Been disappointed that they haven't had a creative player come to the fore. Mali, that's what they've needed. Someone similar to Milinkovic who can dictate play on their own.
There's Gacinovic. And he loses out this time, and again, good work once more trying to win that ball back. Mandic gets the challenge in as the red shirts again flood inside the Malian half. Well, the official figures again saying that there's no change in the level of possession, much as Mali enjoying the lion's share of it, but it's the same place on the halfway line and inside their own half. Zivkovic finally switches flanks to have a go here, tries to get it through to Gacinovic. And Gacinovic is blocked by the defending of Doumbia. Grujic is coming in for Milinkovic, so the goal scorer leaves the field. He's on a yellow card. I don't think that's the reason he's leaving. And here is his moment of glory.
Well, he's definitely got that technically. One thing, the only thing about him might stop him being an absolutely top player. He hasn't got a natural athletic ability about him. More of a plodder compared to some of the other players. And as you go up the physical levels of senior football, you need to have that little bit of pace, but technically he's as good as anyone I've seen at this level so far.
Watch out for Grujic, as again another who can strike with supreme accuracy from distance. So they've replaced Light for Light, really tends to start the games on the bench, but is introduced as time goes on. Another who's at Red Star Belgrade. There he is, Grujic. As if to underline the point, he isn't afraid to have a go, and why not?
That would have been a spectacular introduction to the game.
Tell you what, from a distance, with a bit of curly hair there and that side, he looks a bit like Mark Van Bommel, doesn't he?
Yeah, good shout. I'm sure Van Bommel had 30-yard half volleys in his locker. They've been busy chewing someone's leg off on the halfway line.
Yeah. You miss him though. Good player.
Oh, outstanding player. Oh,
but you would be the one that would appreciate that, because you were playing, of course, for the You were playing for the Dogs of War, though, weren't you? You were in Joe Royal's Dogs of War team of Everton, weren't you, with Joe Parkinson?
Yep. I was the Shih Tzu, though, I think, of that side, rather than one of the others.
I'm sure there would be nobody that would agree with that. Alsatian, maybe. Is Guindo being replaced by Vale Sacco?
Yeah, disappointing day for Guindo. Made no impression on the game at all. And it's fine to stand up there and say, I've had really poor service, but you know, you've got to make some of your own luck as well. His movement just wasn't good enough on the day.
There's Samasiku. 20 minutes remain here for Mali. It's a tense time this as well for Serbia. All of the chances they've created, and still just the one goal separates these two as Diawara bends one in. That's a good delivery. Amidou is in there.
Interesting now, actually, with Milinkovic having gone off, see if someone's from Serbia can take up sort of pockets of space, or whether the formation has been a bit, we'll see, out of 1-0 here, but we won't have so much of the ball, we won't have so much creation.
There's Dumbia, good work from Gacinovic. This is Koulibaly. Gacinovic again. Committed a lot of players forward there at Mali, and Mandic very nearly picked that up on the halfway line. They've got to be very careful that they don't concede possession with the speed and accuracy that Serbia have when they're going forward, certainly if they're passing in the build-ups. Is Diawara. This is Koulibaly into Diarra. Diallo has pressed forward a little further. 17 here is Sacco. Dumbia. Dumbia again, Gacinovic with the interception. Sacco. Into Samasiku. Kone's made that run on the inside channel. He just couldn't get it through. Zivkovic did well there. There's Maksimovic. Into Gajic. Gajic looking for Mandic. Zivkovic. Works his way out into Maksimovic. 5 is Velkovic. Good job by Samasiku, but he can't find his own player. Gacinovic. Antonov making ground on the overlap here. Gacinovic tries to play it inside. Antonov is in. Tap in Mandic. What a magnificent goal again. Well, we are a great unit. We play together as a team. That is what Parnovic has said. That is our main strength, and that were the attributes you saw in that move.
That is an absolutely outstanding team goal. Fantastic play. We talk about unselfish running. Look at the fullback joining in. Perfect delivery. Absolutely great play. Antonov, real desire to overlap, join in. The best strikers get yourself in the box. Mandic joining in for a tap-in. That's where you score your 20 goals a season as a club player. Tap-ins on the 6-yard box. More than deserved for Serbia. Absolute delight for them.
Well, they could have been winning this game by 5 and 6, and Mali would have no argument, really. Had it not been for the quality of some of the finishing, they could have been miles in front here. But surely there is going to be no comeback here now from this.
Once again, from the coaching perspective, you take off arguably your best player. You get rewarded with a goal that should be a decisive goal from one of your substitutes. Look at that though, look how narrow the 8 players are there. That's been the difference for Serbia.
Babic was off the field there. And you can see Maksimovic has just filled into his position. And Velkovic. There he is, he's just getting the bandage around his head secured. Didn't see the clash of heads that led to it. There's Gacinovic into Grujic. Finds Velkovic. Maksimovic. And again, still waiting to try and get Babic back into the game here. For there is Delia. This is Gajic. Manages it again. He's onside here.
His movement's excellent. Absolutely top-class movement. Look at that. Running down the channels to create the chance.
Look of dejection. There's Babic waiting to come back on. The referee has seen him. And he is waving him back into the game here. Inside the final quarter of an hour of what has been certainly one of the best team performances we've seen in this competition. Amidou coming short for it. Diallo on the edge of the penalty area. Still there, Samasiku. Grujic. And again, Grujic. Amidou goes through on him.
It's a better reaction. Pick yourself straight up. Not hurt. And back up again.
And the yellow card goes to Amidou, the substitute.
His foot was just high. It was more of a follow-through of the impact. He's a little bit unlucky. He's entitled to make that challenge. Certainly nothing malicious about it at all, but they've had a lesson here today, Mali. Be interesting to see how they react to this.
There's Samasiku. And Amidou is the furthest forward here for Mali. Maksimovic again foraging away, wins possession back. Hasn't really, apart from the chances that were missed, and you know, you've got to give credit for the fact that these guys are 20 years and under, there hasn't been a weak link in this Serbian team.
No, not at all. And even there, you missed the chances, okay, that's fine, but you fashioned good chances, that's the difference. You haven't just been defensive and you've won with one counter-attack. Okay, they've given up possession, the majority of possession. Not a massive amount, I mean 60-odd to 40%, but it's where that possession's been, and giving up possession when you're already ahead in a game is a different thing because you keep so much play ahead of you. I tell you, statistically, it'd be really interesting for me is how many times that Mali have had to pass sideways or backwards, because that'll be the one. You know, they'll have looked and thought, we've had a load of passes in the game, but just no decisive ones at all.
Here's Kone then with the free kick. And even that doesn't work as Mandic gets it clear. And here is a big problem now. Now can Zukovic finish? No, he can't. Gacinovic. That was magnificent defending. Really was. Dumbia, take your hat off to him because he had to get that right. And there, some of their best performances have been from the defenders who've had to cover ground very quickly. This is Traore. Showed too much of it to Antonov.
Yeah, good play. Threat space is going to open up. Technical ability that Serbia have means they will be a threat. Players pouring forward.
Again, Dumbia's made ground here, but Antonov is over there to cover him.
He's been excellent, Antonov, up and down the pitch. Big physical left back, strong, typical Serbian type. Been excellent, absolutely excellent. As we've pointed out, just one of many in a very, very good, strong unit.
Maksimovic with the headed clearance. And again, Maksimovic is there. Gajic looking for Mandic for it. There's Koulibaly. Valet lost out there. And Grujic. Vesinovic. He literally has not had a save to make in this entire game, Rakovic. There have been 6 attempts on his goal. Not one of them has been on target.
Nice work if you can get it for a goalkeeper. Actually hasn't even been a tempo in the change of Mali's play, though, has there? They haven't chased the game. It's not like they've gone direct and will flood bodies forward, trying to get knock-ons. They've just played lots of sideways passes in midfield and been so frustrated.
There's Traore. Husseini Diabate, the midfielder from Reims, is just about to come into the game. This is Samasiku. Into Amidou. 17 is Sacco.
Whichever way you go.
Kone. He's been the only one who's really decided at times to have a real go and drive toward the penalty area, and he's got his reward here, which is a free kick, and he's just giving back a bit of the medicine that was given the other way with Zivkovic is overacted.
Yeah, he'll be fine with that as well. I think the fullbacks have been the best players for Mali. Here we see the breakaway as well, the ability. Just maybe can't quite get enough pace, but that's a fantastic challenge from Dumbia. Get him back. Zivkovic initially with the chance.
Now, if they could produce something out of the ordinary here, it would give us a real grandstand finale here in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Substitution is going to occur now. Diabate is coming in for Diallo. Diabate is straight over there to have a word in the ear of Hamidou. Indecision reigning here. 5 in the vicinity of the ball for Mali. But it looks as if it's going to be Hamidou, the number 10, that stood over this ball. Eyes burrowing into that wall. Can he see a way through here and get his team back into this game? Hamidou then, and again. Gets a third bite at it, and finally Mandic gets it clear. There's something rather inevitable about the way that ended then. There's Kone. And again, guess who's down? Zivkovic.
That's his hat-trick of horrendous injuries.
Babic, the referee, is just looking on at him.
Well, they're not kicking the ball out. Please don't kick the ball out for him here.
No, I don't think they're going to. They're going to play on here. Zivkovic needs to get up and get back involved here. Inadvertently, might have kept that in play then. And finally gets it, and then there you can see. Look over his shoulder as he looks to see if there's anything coming his way, like a yellow card for more simulation.
The big brave soldier. Tough day for those boys today. Watch their team be completely outplayed, outthought tactically, outperformed.
Really, really good performance this. It's going to take some beating. The only thing is they've set the bar very high, and they've got to follow it up and produce similar.
Well, they've been beaten, haven't they? I mean, that's...
Yeah. And you can only imagine, because we didn't see that game. We'll just see what happens here. Opens up there for Traore. Down he goes. Free kick given away by Grujic. You can only imagine that they were suffering the same type of fate in front of goal that they've suffered at times in this game here, because as we said, they created plenty of chances in the opening game. They just didn't score any goals.
Yeah, certainly don't see them being a side that concedes a lot of goals.
It's Serbia against Mexico on Saturday, Mali against Uruguay. All four could be on 3, well, they will be on 3 points unless there's an incredible turnaround here in this game. Stranger things have happened. We've seen a lot of late goals in this tournament so far. We're about to see another here. Traore takes a deflection, and the keeper Rajkovic is at last forced to actually save something that comes his way. Straight through that wall off Babic.
Don't like to see players in the wall turning their back. For source of frustration, there's enough pace taken off the ball, but the ball should not go through that gap.
Jovanovic is going to come on, defender from Red Star Belgrade.
I can't believe Dumbia's getting booked for this challenge. The look on his face seems to, well, convey everything.
These guys have put in a real shift. Kone, Dumbia, Diarra and Koulibaly when they've been called upon. The rest of the team, when you look at the actual work rate of the team, has been below par.
Yeah, it has. I think their frustrations will be that they've not changed throughout the course of the game. They haven't worked out a way to be better, to create more opportunities, just to give each other more passing options.
Well, the Serbian Messi is coming off. He's still got things to say as he makes his way off. And in comes Jovanovic.
Coming to a hospital emergency ward near you sometime soon.
No doubt that he's got talent, though, is there?
Bags of it, bags of it. And that's the bit, you know, just go and be the best player you can be. Forget the rest of it. No one's interested in that side, but your ability we will endorse all day long. Absolutely not an issue with that whatsoever. He's had some very, very good parts to his game here today.
And the flag is up. 2-0 here. It is still 1-1 in the game between Senegal and Colombia. Senegal taking the lead there. Thiam's goal on 23, Zapata just before half-time with a penalty equalised for Colombia. It's Traore. Back to Diawara. Traore again. Antonov shows him infield. Amidou. And Traore. Sacco. Diawara. Again, just delayed too long. It's not a bad effort. Samaziku.
Don't mind that. It's a good technical strike. Don't talk for your goalkeeper. Not getting beaten from there. Serbia have definitely been different once Milinkovic has gone off. They haven't had a linked player between the midfield and forwards.
But again, I think the question's been answered. We did wonder whether or not they would be able to maintain the level of performance in terms of the pressure that they're applying on the ball when they haven't got it for 90 minutes, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, they've been excellent at that. Absolutely excellent. They're still joining in to support each other too.
Mandic had made a great run. is Gajic.
Still got 6 forwards now. And this is what they've done well. They've switched the play. There's always options on.
Quality of the passing has been in a different league as well to Mali's.
Game management, really good side. You know, if you're looking for a professional team to get a job done in tournament football, and this is as good as I've seen it at age group level, and dominating a game, being very good tactically.
Well, you often hear coaches trying to sum up their team in 1 or 2 sentences, and we've mentioned it 2 or 3 times. We're a real unit, and that is our main strength, and you couldn't argue, could you?
No, not at all.
Again, beautifully underlined with that move there. This is Gajic. Always an option. Every time somebody comes into possession of the ball, there is always an option. Rajkovic, that is going to sail over the head of Antonov. This is Dumbier. Antonov. And Sacco. It isn't all over, of course, for Mali. It just means that there is going to be huge dramas on the final day to see who it is that goes through and who goes out. Remember, we could be looking at we've got top place 3rd teams going through to the next round as well. So for the neutral supporter, of course, it's exactly what we want. For the coaches in the midst of it, it is anything but what they want. Kasinovic.
Way too big a gap between the back 4 of Mali and their midfield 4. That's been their big problem. The space between those 2 has been exploited really well by the Serbians. That sort of pass in there.
Simovic, back he goes again. Jovanovic is offside. Diawara calling for the ball. Come through to Dumbier first. Here's Diawara. Chased out of it by Antonov, who's answered every question that's been posed of him down there.
I like him. I really do like him.
Free kick goes Serbia's way.
Antonov, he just looks like one of those dependable ones. Looks tough, got good physical attributes, tall, so he's decent in the air as well.
Well, the one thing that Mali have not had in their performance here today is there's no fire in their display here, and they're going to need every single bit they can muster in the final group game, which comes up against Uruguay. Remember, all the games kick off at the same time on the final day. Serbia, Mexico, Mali, Uruguay. Play like this, and Mali will be going home.
It's funny because they
check of the watch, and there is the final whistle on what has been textbook stuff from Serbia from start to finish. There has never been a single shred of a doubt as to who was going to win this game. It was simply going to be by how many goals they were going to do it, and in the end it was just 2. The opening goal from Milinkovic with that wonderfully struck free kick in the first half, and then Mandic finishing off the best team move of the game to make it